Okay, let's talk about parenthetical citations. You've probably seen these before. They're very important in academic writing. See Schicke 241 in parentheses right there? That's a parenthetical citation. Notice how the quotation marks ended before the first parentheses opened up right before my name. And the period came after the closing parentheses, right after 241. That's how you punctuate a parenthetical citation in MLA format. Parenthetical citations go with both quotes and paraphrases. Here's a bunch of information, but then on the next couple slides, we'll see how it works. So the parenthetical reference comes after the cited material, which is usually at the end of a sentence, but sometimes in the middle. Sometimes inside the parentheses, all we have is the author's last name and a page number. Sometimes all we have in the parentheses is just the last name. Other times all we have in the parentheses is just the page number. It just depends on what else was in the paper, what was outside of the parentheses. If we used a signal phrase, things like that. If you mention the author's name in the sentence, like as a signal phrase, it does not need to be put into the parenthetical. That would be redundant. All you got to put is the page number. If you mention the author's name in the sentence and there is no page number because the text is an online article, you don't need a parenthetical citation. Yay! Here's an example of a parenthetical citation where the source's name is in the text itself. So the first one says Rodriguez and Kuhn compare lemmings. So there's the author's names right there. If you go to the end of that paraphrase, you'll see 242 in parentheses. That's all. You don't need to repeat the author's names. And then in the second example, we have a quote. But again, Rodriguez and Kuhn are mentioned in the text, so all we have to put is 242. You might be wondering what those little brackets are. Notice that they're both verbs, made and influenced. That was done in order to make it make grammatical sense because the original said makes and influences, which would have sounded like this. In Rodriguez and Kuhn's study, humans makes individual choices. So it wouldn't have sounded right. So sometimes you can change up verb tenses from past to present or present to past in order for your quote to make sense, but you put the brackets around them to let the reader know that you did change the verb tense. Here's an example where the source's name is not in the text itself. We have a big paraphrase there, and then at the end we have Rodriguez and Kuhn 242, all in the parentheses. There is no comma between Rodriguez and Kuhn and the number, page number. It looks just like that. And of course, we see the period at the end of the whole thing because period means the end of a thought and or an idea, and Rodriguez and Kuhn 242 is part of that idea, so we don't want to put it outside the period. Remember that you always need a works cited page at the end of any piece of academic writing. So everything that you used, any signal phrases means that you used a source. Any parenthetical citation means you used a source, and you need to give all the full information of that source at the end in a works cited page. Because if it's in your paper, it needs to be in your works cited. And if it's in your works cited, it needs to be in your paper. We don't have sources in a paper that's not in a works cited and vice versa. So here's my works cited page for the videos that you just watched. So now let's go ahead and try some parenthetical citation.